everybody, Sebastian Keynes here, and this is going to be a Watcher of Realms video. So typically when I'm in the Forerunners server, I like to kind of keep you up to date on things that the developers are thinking about introducing into the public server. And there have been a couple of updates that have rolled out over the last week. One of them actually gave us this nice little feature here in Guild Bus that we were all really trying out, especially if you have an account that you are developing. And that is this playtest here. So I can actually come in here. I guess my BP is low, so I'm asked to have remove gear. But I can come in here, I can play test my composition, and that is something that I've been trying to do here in Nightmare 4, which is to break the third shield. And so I can lay out my comp, and I can actually let the composition run, and then not have to worry about clicking stop or restart before the boss kills me, or right at 5 seconds, just to make sure you have the damage that you need before you quit the battle and you restart. So that was a nice feature to add. So we can test the different heroes that we have on our account, and then we can go back and forth and switch gears and stuff like that. That was an interesting update. I do not mind. I actually like it. There's still some hiccups that they have to work through it, because there are some individuals that are saying that if you do complete the run, it'll wipe out your previous auto run. And I thought that it was only supposed to do that if your score was better than the one that you have locked in the auto fight feature. So that is still a bug. I have not encountered that. I can tell you that I've been doing stuff in Nightmare 3, and especially if I'm testing out gear, just to see if I can add a little bit more, burst into the damage. And it does not, at least on mine, if the score is not as higher as it previously was, it does not really reset it on the playtest. But that is something that is coming, and I welcome this feature because a lot of you will benefit from it. The one thing that I am kind of puzzled about, and it is something that you probably have seen other people already commenting on it, is that they finally gave us the auto battle feature, or excuse me, the background battle feature. And in this regard, I can just say run the battles that I need to run. So let me do a couple here. Do them in the background. I'm just gonna click start, and you see the progress here. It just says 1 out of 3. I hope my champs are geared. If it's not, it's probably just gonna fail and it's gonna kick me out. But even though the battles are running here on the background, unfortunately I cannot do anything else. So if I try to run, for example, faction trials, it says you have to stop this. Okay, so you can't do that. So the only thing that I have managed to be able to do while these background battles are running are move gear around and level up gear. So it's anything that does not entail me starting another run, which pretty much is anything else in the game. So if you wanted to auto farm the dungeons and hit Guild Bus at the same time, you will not be able to do that. I tried doing that with Guild Wars and I got an error, so I screenshotted, I sent that in. So there are certain things that you'll be able to do. You won't be able to do a whole lot of them. You can possibly go through the red dots and collect some of those dailies. If you want to come to the Dwarves Association and do whatever you need to do in here, you can do that as well. But I think primarily the out of battle feature is just to give you an opportunity to come here and level up gear on heroes. But unfortunately, if the gear piece is on a hero that is running on the dungeon, you can modify it. You can switch the gear around. It kind of makes sense, right? But it's limited. It's limited on what you can do. So in terms of the quality of life upgrade on it, is okay. It's nice. You added it to the game, but it really doesn't give you the flexibility that you want, aside from doing other stuff that does not require the battle. So maybe some of us, you set up your auto battles and then you summon or you do something else. So it is really at this point in time is why introduce it in this current format. Okay, And then the other thing that we picked up from it that is a little bit puzzling is that now if you want to run the auto battles, so let me come here, back here, is now they're limiting to, so in my case is because of how many chances I have left. But if I was just, I'm gonna use them anyway, so I'm just gonna give you as an example here. If I were to come back here and I say, well, I want to run all my auto battles, it actually restricts me to 50. It caps it to 50, so there would be 21 left behind. So that means I would have to come back, reset everything, and get it going again. And even if you don't have the background fight checked and you just want to let it run and you see the animations, it still restricts you to 50. So my question to them is, was this intended? As of right now, I have not received an answer. So I'm waiting for that. So we're waiting to see what this is about. Now, fortunately, this is only in the Forerunners server. So if there is somebody in Moonton that is watching this, number one, I'm sorry. But number two, you need to reconsider this. You need to eliminate this. Not only that, I'll take this even further. This is what I consider to be my free-to-play account. This account here on the Forerunners server. So because I am in the United States, I was able to play the beta. I had to do the APK stuff with emulators and stuff like that. But one of the things was, it just because of the region that I was in, I could not spend. Okay, so when global launch happened, I decided, okay, I'm gonna get an account on the public server, and I'll do my spending there, and I'm gonna keep this free to play and just do things to kind of catch up to what the new content is going to be for Watcher of Realms. And what the nice thing about it is that with the auto battles that I would get daily, now remember, free to play account, you're getting 30 auto battles. And unless I'm wrong, and you can tell me in the comments below, if I didn't use them, they would accrue, you know, they would accumulate, right? And then once you had enough, pop, you can use them to whatever dungeon you wanted to use. But they changed this. So now I noticed I only have 20 every day instead of 30. And not only that, yes, the privilege card will give me an additional 40. But remember, I just said I'm keeping this free to play. But now the 20 don't stack. So if I don't use them, I lose them, right? The only ones I won't lose, according to all of this here, is number one, if I purchase them, and if I get them from any type of items that I gain in game. But those free 20 or free 30 that I would get every day, now it's 20, and now if I don't use them, I lose them. So I don't know why they decided to do this. Did they feel like people were not buying the privilege card? I will tell you that if this is the case and they keep it and they roll this out into the public server, where is the privilege card? Not this one here. There was another, the monthly card. This one right here. This won't be worth getting at all. Why would I want to get this? It just encourages this bad behavior. So number one, if you have heard about this, don't it's a point that you can bring in if you're in public server, that you can bring up as a concern and say, hey, I heard that this might be happening. If it is, I don't think that that's the direction to go. Here in the Forerunners server, at least we can make the suggestion again and say, hey, this is a bad idea. Don't roll this out into the public server, or you need to modify this, or why are you taking the battles away if people are using them? I think it's fine if they accrue. I don't see why it hurts them to let us keep those auto battles. I understand that you're gonna put them in the game somewhere, especially here in the shop, but there was a reason why the free-to-play player could do activities in the game, could farm, could do stuff for fragment fusions, and be able to play the game like everybody else does. Is because you were giving them that resource. So I do think that it is a bad idea if this is going to be implemented into the public server as it has been here in the Forerunners server. There in the playtest feature, I guess, from the guild boss, that's thank you. You know, we don't have to worry about wasting a rune if we're experimenting with a hero that we just might have summoned, or we're trying a new composition, or we're trying a new type of setup to run guild boss, and we don't have to worry about losing the key if we get the rune if we get killed or if we get timed out. But in the regard of the multi-battle, that needs to be revised. So I'm not gonna say, you know, pitchforks, let's burn the place down yet, because they introduced this in the Forerunner server. So those that are of us that are here, we can give our input in that regard. And if they do decide to roll this in the public server, then that's probably going to be when you're going to have your opportunity to make your concerns heard and how it can actually affect your gameplay. We'll see what Moonton does, but at this point, I have already submitted to Moonton feedback on this, saying, please reconsider this. Do not roll this out like it is. Don't cap it at 50. There's really no reason to, especially if you have more than 50, because that is what that whole feature is supposed to be about, is for you to run your auto battles uninterrupted. And if you just want to set it and forget it, that's what you want to do. And I don't know why they have to restrict us to 50 at a time. I'm going to quit my rambling, my ranting, but I just wanted to make you aware of some of the changes. I really did wanted to introduce you to the new stuff that was going on that is coming up to the game, but in this regard, I think it's something that you should be aware of in case you are one of those that are accumulating the multi-battles as a free-to-play player. Okay? I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in and watching. And as always, if you did appreciate the content of this video, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time in the next Watcher Runs video.